Hey everyone, happy Monday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So let's see what happened here today. So Rafa, as you can see by the presence of the roll bar, continued to work on the blue buggy, what I also like to call buggy number 2. And he, other than getting the roll bar on, he did the other body mounts. So you can see these ones up here, so got those all fitted, and it always takes like a little tweaking and stuff to get them to fit correctly in there, and then painted them and got them all mounted up. So that's in the front of the buggy. He had previously done the pan to body bolts on the side, and then the roll bar. For those of you that may not be familiar with these, there's a bracket that goes right here that the roll bar mounts to give it some kind of, structural mounting there on the bottom. So got those mounts in, and then also this kind of strap looking ones that go here. So that's how that is mounted. So you see at the bottom here, so this is the one that picks up that bracket, and then the top one is right there. So there you go. That's all mounted up and looking bitchin'. The other thing that happened was putting the rear brakes together, and we still have to paint these drums, but other than that, the rear brakes are together, e-brake is together. The only thing is I need to get an earlier e-brake lever. The one I got was for the later style, but the cables, as I realized later, and the length that I made them is actually for the earlier style handle. So these cables are a little bit too short for the later handle. So no problem. I got this handle from Brian Washburn, so I will exchange it for the correct one, and then we can finish hooking up the e-brakes. So yeah, good stuff. Moving right along here. Thanks to the owner, Tom, for coming by today. And it's good to see him and his wife. And so there you go. That's that. For me, what I did was I started tackling the wiring for the fuel injection system here for this thing, and I had the motor in and out a couple times, kind of test fitting the wiring harness, and most of it is kind of hidden behind the fan shroud there. You can see some wires coming out here on this side, this wiring harness, which is way too long, so I'll roll it up and tuck it back in there. But this one is for the intake air control, which is this valve right here. And then there's some other wires here that go to the coil and so on. And then one of them will go to the air conditioner, stuff like that. And then, of course, you can see right there the injector connections there. And then on this side, a bunch of stuff on this side. So again, injectors there. And then this deal here on the bottom is the manifold pressure sensor. So there's a plug for that, which is not currently plugged in. And in fact, that's it right there, laying there. And then on the back of this throttle body is the throttle position sensor. So plug for that. So lots of stuff going on this side because of those two sensors. And then there's a couple of wiring harnesses that run over here that will connect to the battery that give the 12-volt power and stuff to the fuel injection system, supply that. And then I also, at least for mock-up purposes, I have mounted the ECU itself. You can see it back there. I just kind of stuck it on with double-sided tape to test fit the location. I'm pretty happy with it. It's fairly hidden back there, so pretty happy with that. So seems to be a pretty decent location for it. So yeah, that actually took most of the day. This wiring harness, AJ had wired it up, I guess basically for like motors that were on the dyno, but the way the wires were, the various harnesses for the different connectors, the way they were routed just wasn't really working out for me here for this motor and how I wanted to route everything. So pretty much disassembled the harness and put it back together to my liking. The only thing I didn't really do is I didn't really change the length of any of the cables because they pretty much all have these special connectors on them of different sorts, and I don't really have the ability to to change these, like for example, cut this off and put a new one on. I don't have the tooling for it. So some of these that are a bit long will just be neatly kind of wound up and then hidden back in there. So it'll look all nice and neat like you would expect from our shop when it's done. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. Because again, we don't really normally work with those special kind of modern car type connectors. But anyway, it'll be all super clean when it's done. But yeah, that is pretty much all figured out. And then the other thing I need to do is go ahead and plumb the fuel lines, and I need to install the fuel tank and run some wires and some fuel lines obviously to it. And then I still need to order the air conditioner for it and get that all figured out and mocked up. And then pretty much at that point, the motor and transmission I think are ready to go in. So yeah, just trying to keep this thing moving along here. So the other thing that happened today is we went ahead and had one of our interior guys start doing the carpet kit on the Van Halen bug here. So let's take a look at that. I think he's going to finish it up tomorrow. Oh, well, there you can see the sides done there, and then he's working on the front area up there. He's got the speaker pods on both sides done, and the kind of front, kick panels and stuff there done. So yeah, looking really nice. And then likewise, the back over there is mostly done. And so yeah, I think tomorrow he's going to finish up the floor, and then that'll be it. So the seats and door panels for this car are done. They've been done for a while. So once the carpet goes in, then pretty much at that point we can finish the interior for this car. And then this thing is super close to being done. So very exciting here. This car will be done before we know it. So I mentioned the other day on the Saturday edition of the episode, gas tank is all installed and the rear plumbing's all in. So yeah, we're starting to get down to the point where the to-do list on this car is getting pretty short. So very exciting. Anyway, that is pretty much it for today, guys. Appreciate you watching, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.